Why do avoidants come back right when you finally started to heal? I hear this all the time from my clients. Something like, I moved on, I stopped thinking about them, and then out of nowhere, they broke no contact and reached out to me. I was just playing Fortnite, and all of a sudden, hey, this person's texting me after months. Here's what's really going on. Avoidants push away when intimacy feels overwhelming, right? We talked about this before. If you're familiar with the channel, the closer you get, the more they fear losing their independence or their control. So when you finally pull back, when you go silent, you stop reaching out, or you move into no contact yourself, the avoidant initially feels that relief. In the first days or weeks, they're not even heartbroken. They feel lighter because you're no longer around and you're just not pressuring them. They might even convince themselves that, hey, I made this right choice. But that relief doesn't last forever. I'm a big analytics nerd, and I always find this stat interesting. Over the past 28 days, only 12% of the viewers are subscribed, which means 87% of you guys aren't even subscribed to the channel. I want you guys to do me a big favor. If you find this content interesting, and if you want to help the channel grow in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want my help personally, you can reach out to me on my website at www.fruitfulseeds.com. One of my subscribers said this: even in a rebound, my ex reached out for over 10 months straight. And that's the avoidance cycle. They thought that space or a rebound would protect them from the pain. But that silence eventually became heavier than they could handle. The rebound didn't work. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the timeline and what you should do when they finally reach back out. But first, let's break down the stages of when and why avoidants tend to reach back. And I'm going to show you the difference between the dismissive avoidance and the fearful avoidance, because they may both come back, but they do it very differently. The first phase is usually the relief phase, which lasts between 1 and 3 weeks. For the dismissive avoidant, they usually feel a strong wave of relief. They bury themselves in work and hobbies or distractions. They convince themselves that they made the right decision by leaving you and, kind of being single for a while. But for the fearful avoidant, their relief is mixed with anxiety. They swing between feeling free and abandoned. Now, to be honest, they're more likely to be the one to stalk your social medias early on to see if you're still around or if you're going to run after them or break the no contact first because you saw their little avatar pop up on your Instagram story. But after that phase, it goes into the doubt and confusion stage, which is, for me, I think it lasts between 3 to 8 weeks. For the dismissive avoidance, that silence starts to creep back in, but they continue to fight it. They rationalize with themselves, saying things like, I didn't need them anyway. I didn't need this relationship. I don't need anyone, really. Yet deep down, it kind of gnaws at them. It's like a nagging, skin crawling type of feeling after a while, if they don't get into a rebound relationship. But for the fearful avoidant, that push-pull is very obvious. In the avoidant mode, they stay silent when they're like triggered, but when their anxious side kicks in, they suddenly reach out. And I've usually seen them ghost you again after that because they feel like it was a little bit too vulnerable. Then they have like this sense of embarrassment about reaching out. One of my subscribers said this: the moment I started to move on, my ex reached out and then pulled away again. That's something that the fearful avoidant typically does. This is kind of one of their cycles. Their emotion swings like a pendulum. They go from panic when they feel you slipping away, and then they retreat once they feel they have you, where they want you again, to be honest. But it's usually because they feel too exposed when you saw them again. The next phase is when they finally start to reach out, and this usually is between 2 to 6 months. When the DA comes back, it's usually because something reminded them of you. They might have had a Facebook memory or a Snapchat memory or something. Or when they felt like they were emotionally close to you around some type of holiday or something, maybe even Labor Day. But their reach outs are usually neutral and casual. They'll say something like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. How's the dog doing or the cat doing? Nothing crazy. But the fearful avoidant, when they come back, is usually hot and heavy. They come back with paragraphs, and then you make it comfortable, maybe like, this is great. They're finally reaching back out, and then they'll disappear again. But here's the important part that you need to know. Neither type of these avoidants are reaching out because they suddenly decide that you're their forever person. It's not a grand love revelation. It's usually about they need to feel some type of relief. They couldn't fill that hole that you left in their life. To help you guys out, I've actually come up with this chart that I want you guys to kind of sit and meditate on for a little bit. I'm going to leave it up for a few seconds. But the most important part that I want you guys to pay attention to is the bottom piece, where I kind of give like a little bit of a motivational deal, saying relief from emptiness, boredness, or stress does not equal sudden love. Right? I want you guys to remember that. So since we've established the time frame and what it'll look like if they do reach back out and what they're going through, what do you do when they finally reach out? I'm gonna tell you what not to do, because this is where a lot of people mess up. That first text that comes in and your heart's all fluttery and you're finally excited that this person has broken no contact, thinking, oh, we're getting back together. That's not the case most of the time. If you rush in anxiously, you're going to just reset the cycle all over again. They're going to say, all right, I got this person again, and they're going to pull away again. So what you need to do is you need to stay grounded. You have to prove to them that you have self-regulation and self-control, and let them know that their return doesn't throw you off. Like, you're calm, you're deliberate about everything that you talk about, the messages that you send, and you understand what your worth is now. One of my subscribers said something like this: after 2 months of no contact, my DAX reached out and now she's hit me up constantly. Why did that work out for him? Because most likely he gave her space, he focused on his own growth and his own personal development, and he responded with strength instead of panic. It's important not to rush back in and all ecstatic when this person comes back. I mean, it's okay to be, a little bit excited about the person, but you have to make sure that you're moving at a slower pace than you were before. Because if they pick up on they still have you where they want you, then they're just going to see it as not valuable. And if anything, they might feel more pressure again to be exactly what you need them to be. Check their consistency. If it's just one message, I don't consider that as growth. You need to watch for patterns, because I believe patterns is a better tell at where a person's at. I saw a quote that said, if you're looking for the truth, observe people's habitual behaviors and their patterns or their cycles. The truth is in their patterns, not so much their words. So it's important for you to protect your progress when they reach back out. Don't sacrifice all your healing you've done for breadcrumbs. And I know a lot of people in the comment section just going to say, block them, don't ever talk to them again. But not everyone are at the same point in their journey. When people ask me, will avoidance come back? I have to be honest and let them know they may come back. But whether it's an opportunity or a trap depends on where your mindset is at in that moment. So recapping on the big picture here, right? Avoidants don't process loss in real time, right? We understand that they move slowly when it comes to processing things. It might take weeks, it might take months for your absence to finally register for them. That's why their timing often feels almost cruel. They show up right when you finally got to your part where you're healing, and they're just starting. Remember the differences. Dismissive avoidants often come back quietly and casual, as if nothing happened, because they just see it as like space that they needed. But the fearful avoidants swing in dramatically. They reach out emotionally, then they may ghost you after they got their fix of whatever it is you guys were talking about. Understand that both are avoidant cycles, and both will repeat until someone actually does the inner work. I was literally just talking to a woman yesterday about a guy that she was seeing that we discovered to be a fearful avoidant. And she's been off and on with this guy for 8 to 10 years. And she's wondering, is this another off cycle? Because he kind of just disappeared on her because he was upset with her about something. And she was wondering, how is it that she can break this trauma bond with him? Because she's starting to see it as more like a trauma bond. She feels like she's constantly walking on eggshells with him. And there might be something else going on there. It might not just be fearful avoidant attachment style. But I'm really trying to just motivate her to understand who she is, what her worth is. What is it that she's looking for in life? Like, does she want to do another 10 years like this? Most likely not. But as far as you guys, the real question isn't why avoidants reach out after you moved on. The real question should be, when they do come back, will you be grounded enough to respond from a place of strength? Or will you fall back into the same cycle that broke you in the first place? Like one of my clients used to say, does it make sense for you to go and take a shower and get all clean and pick the same dirty clothes up off the floor and put them back on? Probably not, unless you feel like that's the only thing you can get. So if you found this video of any value, please like, comment, and share. You can reach out to me in my other social media accounts. Instagram is I'm Coach Court. TikTok is I.am.CoachCourt. Facebook is Coach Court. Thank you guys. And always remember, when you go and be loved, you'll never have to find it. God bless.